Everyone, I'm Eiji Aonuma, producer of the Legend of Zelda series. First, I have some news. Development on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is now complete.
That's good to know that it's now fully complete. So that's kind of nice. So maybe now they might be working on a DLC or the next title.
Thank you very much for waiting. Many of you are looking forward to this game, and we've released a few trailers so far. Although it'll just be a brief glimpse, I'm going to actually play the game for you all today and show you what it's like. Okay? Let's begin. Here we are in the land of Hyrule.
Immediately into the world, immediately.
Like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, there's a vast world to explore. Of course, it's not just the same world as is.
People keep mentioning the little mini-map, and every time I'm like, I could have sworn I've seen it before. But then, I don't know, I know it's not actually in Breath of the Wild, but there's so many times now where I'm like, I could have sworn I've seen it before. But also, look at the longitude, the like numbers on it as well. So it's like a location thing on it too.
It's changed in many ways. If we talk about all of the changes today, we'll run out of time, so we hope you'll seek them out for yourself when the game launches.
Yeah, you can see the longitude, latitude, like there's the three numbers
In this game,
on it
the
as well.
vast world of Hyrule reaches
I wonder
high
if that
into
would
the
be
sky.
useful, or is that just
You'll notice some land masses floating
to like
up there.
let you know, oh hey, you're
We
higher
call
level.
them Sky Islands. You're probably wondering something. How do you get to the Sky Islands when they're so high up? If we take a look, oh, something's falling from the sky. Do you see it? I wonder what that is. Let's
When it
head
comes
over
to
to
the
it.
things falling from the sky, is that just gonna be like a random thing that just happens every now and
We're
again?
almost at the spot where the object fell. Here it is. Okay, let's use one of Link's new abilities. If you do this on the rock that just fell,
Can you do that while you're on it? I don't see why not, right? Why you can't use
Look,
recall
it
while
started
already on
rising.
it.
This power is known as recall, which rewinds an object's movement. Since I just used recall on the fallen rock, I can now rise into the sky. We're a lot closer to the Sky Islands. Let's use the paraglider to reach one of them. There are a few other Sky Islands floating here too. I made it. There are lots of ways to reach the Sky Islands, so we hope you'll try a few different methods. Okay, now we're on a slightly bigger Sky Island. Just like on the surface, there are several man-made structures. Some trees are also growing here. You won't see many of those yellow trees on the surface, though. Let's walk around for a bit. There's a branch on the ground. When you find something like this, you should pick it up. It might come in handy later. Let's
Once you
continue.
picked up those mushrooms, because the way there's the mushrooms in Hyrule, they're literally just called Hyrule shrooms or something like that. Imagine if you picked up those mushrooms and because of that you get the name of the place. It turns out and it says that it's Skyloft Shrooms or something. Also, what's
Come
that?
in handy later. Let's continue. It might
Too
come in
far.
handy later. Let's continue.
It's like a little statue off to the side here. I don't think you can see my cursor. There's like a little statue off to the side. Is that one of those robots or is it just a statue?
Oh, something's there. This is a brand new enemy called a construct. We'll fight it using the branch we just picked up. Ah, the branch broke. Not good, not good. Quick, get another branch and... we defeated it. Moving on.
Also, Zonai charge. That's the first confirmation we have that they're at least the Zonai are involved in this, you know? So I hope that the story of this game is good. I hope that it's not just like Breath of the Wild where the story is like 100 years old and we can't touch it. We can't do anything with it or about it. We can just learn about it. I hope this is something we can actually touch and interact with. Please. And please let that be the same for the Zonai.
We've now explored more of this Sky Island. As expected, fighting with just a branch won't get us very far. Also, this branch is almost broken. So here's another one of Link's new abilities. If we use this branch and the rock over here, and do this, look, we can stick them together. We created a makeshift hammer. This is called Fuse. You can stick objects together to create new weapons with
And this kind of also implies as well, do you
various
see
effects. Let's take
when
on
he
another
fights these constructs, because like, the branch went from badly damaged to being connected to this, being fused with the rock. So it seems like it increases its durability. So it went from badly damaged to being repaired and new. Well,
construct with this
something
fused
new.
weapon. We're dealing with two of them at once.
Also, the fact that the constructs, like their response every time is to, oh, I just noticed one of them literally has a question mark above its head.
With two of them at once.
But their reaction is to like sound an alarm and spin around and sound an alarm.
Oh, we beat one.
So like that means they're programmed to do that. So like who are they sending an alarm to? Like other constructs, yeah, but like to let who know something's gone wrong.
The weapon's attack has definitely improved. The other branch broke, but this weapon has much better durability. You can do all sorts of things by experimenting with the fuse ability. You can fuse two weapons, for example. If we take this long stick and fuse it with a pitchfork, we can create a weapon with a much longer attack range. With this, we don't have to get too close to enemies, and we can safely attack from a distance.
I love the prospect of that, the fusing
You
of
can
weapons
also fuse arrows with materials
and
in your
fusion
inventory.
of the arrows.
For instance, try
Like, here's the thing: would fusing it with a stake actually act then as a lure instead? It's like, say there's like a creature or something, and you want to bait it away or something. Can you put a stake on the end of a arrow and just point it in the opposite direction you want to go? So like, say like a Lionel or a Boglin or whatever, and then they get attracted by the smell of the meat or something, so that way it lures them away and you can just fuck off in the other direction. Like, is that how you can use the stake thing as a lure, as to like lure something away, or even just closer to you, so you can like sneak attack it or just kill it away from its allies without alerting them? That could be cool if that is what it can do. Then it's like, then there's just like so many possibilities with the rest of these items as well.
Try fusing this leaf to an arrow. Fuse an ice elemental material to an arrow and you can freeze faraway enemies.
That also
Very
seems to be
useful.
very effective against the
In
construct.
addition, let's see. Ah, there's a bird flying around. If you're out hunting, you might feel that aiming with an arrow is too difficult. Apparently, my eyes can't track fast-moving objects as of late, so my shots rarely land. So, at times like these, here's an eyeball you can get by...
And then when you look at it, oh, I just realized there's a little ball something here that I don't recognize. So like at the end here, there's like a little ball that's almost gooey or mechanical at the same time. So that's interesting. I wonder what that is. But I was actually thinking about the wing, because we're about to see here that he's about to use the eyeballs to turn them into turn the arrows into like homing arrows. What would the wing do then? Make it fly faster? Make it fly further? I don't know, like I'm looking forward to being able to experiment with this to find out what different things can do.
Defeating monsters. Fuse it to an arrow and... Look, it homed in on the target. Let's try this on another bird. I'll just fire in that general direction. It's very simple. Depending on what you stick together, the fuse ability could also be beneficial for hunting. I fused a mushroom to my shield.
That's also
Now,
a new
you're
mushroom,
probably
isn't it?
wondering if this
That is, isn't it? That's a new mushroom, isn't it? I don't remember seeing that in the first game. So that's a mushroom that you find up here in the islands.
has any use. Well, this mushroom is actually a puff shroom. Let's fight an enemy with this. I blocked with the shield. Okay, there's smoke now. The enemy's lost sight of Link, so... attack! Even if you struggle with combat, you can take down enemies using similar methods. In the previous game, you'd usually get powerful weapons by defeating strong enemies. But in this game, fusing even the weakest weapon with something else could turn it into a useful weapon. There are even more gameplay options for sticking things together. Let me demonstrate. Some of the Sky Islands even have rivers. We'll want to cross this one, but swimming across it, well, the river's too wide for that. We need a boat. Of course, there isn't anything that resembles a boat around here. So, we'll lift up this log and attach it to a second log. Let's do one more. We'll bring this over here and attach a third log. It's a makeshift raft. This is another new ability called Ultra Hand. Even though the logs are currently attached, they can be detached. Let's modify the shape of the raft. You can always attach things or detach them like this.
Also,
Now,
this bit,
if we put this on the water, it's made of wood.
that right there, where you see the red and the blue arrows, immediately I was like, oh, game development, game design. And it's like, that's basically what they're doing. They're giving you the tools to just create whatever you want. Like, we know from Breath of the Wild, just with the abilities given to you by the Sheikah Slate, people were like making things like that flying machine with the mine carts from the mountain, Death Mountain, and they were just using it to fly around like very, very slowly, but it was happening, right? And people were like, and I bet you Nintendo saw that and were like, oh, we didn't intend for them to use it that way, but that's how they end up using it. So how about we just give them the ability to do whatever the hell they want here? And the second I saw this, I was like, they're basically giving you the possibility, not the possibility, but they're giving you basically the tools to design your own experience. Because the second I saw those red and green, blue lines, I was like, oh, game design. They're literally just handing the design of the game to you.
So the buoyancy will keep it afloat. We've made a simplified version of a boat. However, it won't move in its current state, so we'll need something to propel it forward. There's something here. Let's try hitting it. Oh, wind. It's blowing wind. Looks like we found a fan. Why don't we try attaching it?
I wonder how many of those things are in the overworld.
We'll attach.
Hang on, go back here now. You look over there, all of this is also in orange, which means all of this is stuff that can be interfered with the Ultra Hand. What the hell is all that? It looks like an altar or something, or like a stage or something, and then there's a thing above it. What the hell? Yeah, it's all stuff that the Ultra Hand can do something with.
We'll attach another one. This should make the boat well balanced. Okay, they're attached. All right, let's try moving the boat. Hey, it's moving. It's sailing pretty fast with the wind from the fans. Since we added 2 fans, we should be able to cross the river in no time. All right, we reached the other side. In the most recent trailer, we showed scenes of Link riding a large car and a flying machine. Those vehicles actually are...
Okay, but the possibility that you can make yourself that you can make a hot air balloon is actually really cool to me. Like, and I think I was watching someone else's stream and their reaction of this, and I think it was Beat 'em Up stream, and someone in chat said maybe you can finally build your own base, and that sounds so cool to me. Or I think it was Iona actually. I don't remember. But someone somewhere said maybe we can build our own bases now, and I was like, oh my god, that'd be so fun. But then there's also the house that we get in Breath of the Wild. I wish we could do more with that house, other than like putting the weapons on the wall, you know? Wish there was more to it than that. Because we get somewhat of a stable in the, like, at the back of it. So there's part of me like, I wish that could be more usable, that you can actually have your horses there and you can actually store a few horses there, and that would be like an actual mechanic. That'd be cool.
Link riding a large car and a flying...
So like, imagine being able to build like a flying base. So like, you have your house down on the surface, you have a flying base. You might be able to build a base up on the islands. If underwater exploration is the thing, have an underwater base. If underground world is actually a thing, have an underground base. Like, it sounds like the possibilities of that is really fun.
Machine. Those vehicles actually aren't in the game from the start. Instead, you'll be able to freely craft them on your own. There are all sorts of objects you'll come across in this game, and depending on how you use your imagination, you can do a lot with them. So, try crafting different things and explore this world at your leisure. There are even more new abilities. Take this building over here. Okay, watch this.
Yeah, so what is that right there in front of Link? Like, it looks like a scrap. It looks like scraps. Like, is it a possibility like it's one of those constructs that fell apart? Or what is it? Like, what is that right there? It looks mechanical in whatever way, in some way. So, like, it's one of the only types of things of this we see. Or maybe it's like a statue that fell over or something. Because we know with the constructs, whenever they die, they explode and leave stuff behind. So they don't leave stuff like this behind. Their entire, like, thing disappears. So it's probably a statue?
Look, I passed right through the ceiling. This new ability is called Ascend. If you're in a place with a ceiling, you can go through to the floor above you. There are some restrictions, but what's great about this ability is that
I'm just now thinking about, see that archway? Would it work while you're under the arch? Could you just stand under the arch, click ascend, and then you're just on top of that archway from then on?
But what's
that
great
could be
about
cool
this ability
if you
is
can
that
use
as
it like
long
that.
as there's a ceiling, you can use it anywhere. For example, this place has a cave with a hill right above it.
Yeah, see the archway. Could you land on top of it? But technically, it's the same thing with the cave as well.
If we use the ability here,
also, while I'm here, actually, there's a fucking bot here. Like, is it another construct but a different variation of it? It seems to be just doing its own thing. It doesn't react to Link at all. It seems to be digging or something.
come on.
Oh yeah, we saw it earlier too, actually, with the boat. When you cross the river with the boat, there was one of those out the other side of it as well. I remember that now.
Okay, we emerged at the top of the hill. In the previous game, you had to use stamina to climb a mountain. But in this game, if there's a mountain with a cave like this one, you can now get to the top without having to climb all the way up. Here's another example. Imagine you're stuck in a cage. If it's got a ceiling, you know what to do, right?
Okay, the fact that he deliberately brought up a cage, it does make me think Link is going to be imprisoned at some point in the game. Like, just the fact that it was brought up. Like, he had it's almost like a very specific, it's a very specific statement.
Exactly. Oh, there's another construct. It seems to be holding a strange weapon.
Also, the fact that the constructs, they're either finding fused weapons or they're fusing them themselves, and I don't know which is worse. Because if they can fuse them themselves, that means you're in trouble. They can actively change their weapons. Yeah, they can actively change their weapons, and that would make them dangerous. But I suppose from a gameplay standpoint, it would be fun. But then the story implications of them finding it is that there were other people with these powers, with these same powers, that lived up on these islands. And they left these fused items behind.
Some enemies are equipped with fused weapons, so battles will play out a bit differently from the previous game. Ah, it blew me away with wind.
Also,
like it's
something to notice with these constructs is that when they're attacking you, the red of the eye glows.
Some sort of fan. Ah, it blew me away with wind.
The red of the eye glows.
Differently from the previous game.
It's like, see, no glow. Glow. When it's about to attack you, the red of the eye glows.
Ah, it blew me away with wind. Looks like it's got some sort of fan.
And there again, it's glowing again.
Ah! I got pushed off! Oh well, let's just return to the surface. You can quickly descend from the sky to the surface like this. It feels so good. In the sky, you'll be able to look out across the land. You can also search for destinations that pique your interest. Once you've chosen your destination, you can speed things up.
I am genuinely hoping the story of this game is really good. Genuinely. Because I liked Breath of the Wild, I really do. But there's always a part of me that's like, I don't like the fact that the story is 100 years old and I can't touch it and do anything about it. Whereas Age of Calamity, you were an active component of the story, but there was no open world. So it also felt very detached. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't feel like you're actually doing genuinely much with the story itself because you're only combat based and you weren't able to like explore the world like you were able to with Breath of the Wild. But at the same time, I understand why not, but it was still frustrating. And I was like, every time I played Age of Calamity, I was like, it just makes me miss Breath of the Wild. So I'm hoping this can be that perfect blend of both of them. In the sense that it's going to be a great story to tell, but I'm going to be actually able to explore the open world to do whatever the hell I want. So at the very least, like, we know the open world is going to be a thing. And with all these new abilities, you can do whatever you want with the Ultra Hand and Ascend and Recall and Fuse. The two most important two are like Ultra Hand and Fuse, because those are the ones that truly let you do whatever you want. That and Ascend if you're creative enough with it. I unfortunately am not a very creative person, or at least not as creative as many others are, but I still think I'm going to have much fun with exploring and figuring out what does certain combinations do. But I'm really hoping the story is going to be good.
Like this. Let's dive into this river. And we're back on the surface.
I also love how everyone who saw that point is like, well, that's not how physics works. At that speed, Link would definitely be dead. Still, though, it's fun.
There are still so many things I'd like to show you, but let's leave it at that for now.
Also, we've seen this before. The structures, the like half-built structures. It's like, it's at least an indicator that they're trying to rebuild Hyrule, rebuild a few settlements.
What did you think? Some of Link's new abilities were updated from the previous game. I'm sure some of you watching me play were thinking, wait, if you could do that, then maybe you could do this too. In this game, you can do a lot of things just by thinking about what's even possible. There's still a lot of new gameplay, mysteries, and encounters we couldn't show today, but they're all jam-packed into this unfamiliar Hyrule, and we hope you'll use your imagination to explore it. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.
This. I have no idea if I want to get it or not. But that's really pretty. Oh, this is effect added. Like, no, really? I don't know. I like the white and I like the gold. I like the designs and patterns and things, so I love the gold. And that pattern is really nice. The dragons are kind of hidden in the white, to be fair. Maybe they should have done like a gold outline on the dragons or something. Just to highlight the dragons a bit more. But that dock is so pretty. And I love the white and the gold. And that Pro Controller. Holy damn, that is pretty Pro Controller. The black, the white, the gold. Oh, it's so pretty. I like, even if I don't get the OLED that, I definitely want to get the Pro Controller. I have a Pro Controller, but it's a plain ordinary one. I want that Pro Controller. Either way, I will at least be getting the Pro Controller. That box, that case does look nice though, but I have a case already. It's sort of, what do I do, you know? Like, just because it's pretty doesn't mean I should. But I do want that Pro Controller at least. There, that's a good stopping point.